Now, this video is not going to supplement my 7 o'clock video on the Vector. We're still going to be back at 7 to do that video, but I've been working on this, but my stuff, some of my stuff finally come in, and I'm just ecstatic to share it. I got 10 of my favorite wheels from one of my viewers. Thank you very much. I'm ecstatic. These are exactly what I was looking for. If I get more, I'd take more. So anybody got any of these, let me know. These are the Williams Brothers 3/4. Then another one of my viewers sent me this. Now this doesn't look like much, but this is the bare bones of a Casminato clone. And he's done a lot of work to get it this far. I'm going to do a little more work. I'm going to narrow it up. Of course, I got to put the wood on it. And I'm going to affix this a little different, but this is super nice. Thank you very much. Then I've got, this will probably last me, I don't know, it'll probably last 10 years because I don't build a whole lot of airplanes with pilots in them. But I ended up getting my favorite pilots. Now these came from Canada, and I had to buy these. They ended up costing me about $2.50 a piece. It was 25. I can't remember how it worked out. It was really crazy. You know, the Canadian exchange is ridiculous. They wanted $20 or whatever. And when I hit pay and I chose, convert it to US, including the shipping, it was $20. So $10 shipping, $10 for the pilot figures. But these are the size that I use. And these two here, this is the one, these two are the ones that are in the Monado and in the Vortex here. This pilot here. This one here is something I've never used, but I don't see why I can't use it. We'll just do the old Al Rabe trick, paint them up, cut his head off, turn it. Same with the with his scale pilot with the helmet. I never liked these goggles. They look like crap. But we'll cut his head off, turn it or whatever. So I got 4 of these. We're in great shape. I'm ecstatic. The only reason why I got these this early is our regular mail lady saw that box was sitting on the shelf at the post office. Said, "Here, let me take that," because we haven't had mail for shit. We got mail coming. I got a letter coming. It's actually payment for a fuel tank, and it should be here today. But if there's the slightest bit of snow on the ground, which there is, they don't want to deliver. Okay, this Sandout explained. I've been working on this airplane now. I work on it off and on throughout the day. I'll sand on it a while, put it up, and do something else. This will take quite a while to sand out. First off, let me explain how sandpaper works. People say, well, I could use 600 on this to get it sanded out. If you had a lot of material to move, now I just swiped over this with 1,000 just to see how this would look. And I really wish the camera would do it better justice. You have to look into it and you'll see the peel. Well, if there's a lot of peel, you don't want to be sanding for hours and hours and hours. Use 1,000 grit. And if there's a real lot of peel, use 800. And then continually drop down until you get to the 2,000, and then we'll polish. So the first thing I'm going to do, working on sanding this flap. And if you don't think that 1,000 grit or 2,000 or 3,000 will take paint off, you're sadly mistaken. I'm almost inclined to sand through just to show you how easy it is, but I don't want to. I want to make more work for myself. So this is 1,000. We're going to hit it with 1,000, and this thing needs to be completely flat. I mean, there needs to be no little shinies in it. I can see the bumps in it through the 1,000 even. But make note of where I'm at here now, and then make note of where I'm at the end, what it will look like. And that has to be done all over this airplane. So then take a paper towel, wipe it off and see where you are. You don't want to sand too much. And if you look here, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me zoom in a little more. It's really hard to see on the camera here. Let's see if I can find it. I saw a shiny. It's up here. Okay, it's right here. I'm going to teach you guys how to do this yet. I just need a better camera. There it is. You see all them shinies in there? Right? Keep looking right here. Right here. You see all those shinies? When I put my hand over all that has to be flat. It has to look completely flat. And that's how the whole airplane has to look in order to get a high quality finish. Completely flat, and then you polish it up from there. So there's a lot here. So this is 1,500. I've knocked the highs off with 1,000. Looks like I'm going to have to touch up. Oh, that's black ink or something. I must have sanded through somewhere. Let me get some alcohol. Yeah, there we go. See, I got black on me. That means that I sanded through the clear on some alcohol or on some ink line somewhere. So I got to stay off the ink line. I don't know where it was. It's got to be up here somewhere. But it'll show up. So now we're going to take 1,500. $1,500. Oh, I see where it is. Oh, crap. This won't be a long video. I just figured I'd let you guys know what I'm doing. We'll be back at 7 with the vector. This is an absolute boring part of the job, and it probably takes as long, if not longer, to do than build the airplane. Because this will go on for months, all the way up until the Nationals. Because what happens is you'll, oh shit, I missed a spot, and you go back and hit that spot, and oh shit, I sanded through it. You have to give it some more clear. Oh, that's not shiny enough. Okay, let's see how it looks now. Let's do the other side of this. Now you can do it this way, or you can put spray shine on it and not have to do this at all. I prefer this way because it's 6 ounces lighter. People argue with me, but whatever. We got her pretty flat. Except for out here. Needs some more out here, but I'm afraid I'm going to sand that ink line off. More there and more here. And then we'll spin it up and see what it looks like. And you can basically tell when the paper quits cutting. It just goes dead. Okay, that's pretty good for the first round. Now, because there's no way for me to bring back the image from the live stream, if you look at this, it has no shine on it. It's flat. And that's what you're looking for. The first time you do this, the engine in this airplane is a Brian Gardner Super Tiger 60. The first time you do this, you'll think, oh, I ruined my airplane, because it has absolutely no shine on it. Nothing. And that's what you want. No shine anywhere. And the least shine you can get, the better. Instead of using material to make it shine, you're using, I call it the chroming, the chroming application, where your car bumper, the chrome on it's 50 millionths thick. That metal is polished to look like that before it gets put in the tank. The chrome is only to protect it from rusting. So when I say that what gives my shine is sandpaper, it's 100% correct. You're leveling out all the mountaintops so that it refracts the light. Or you can put urethane on it and have a wall banger. I prefer the elbow grease method. I've always done this, and I can remember as a kid sitting in my home, and my mom and dad's house in West Covina, sitting on the floor in front of Ed Sullivan black and white TV, sitting on the floor polishing. I had a Skylark. That's back when I was building kits. Getting ready for the big contest at Whittier Narrows. Then I'd steal my mom's Pledge spray wax, and she'd get all pissed off. I loved it because it smelled like lemons. It made it look all right, too. I've done this many thousands of hours in my life. I'm sure of it. As you guys will attest, I'm a sander, and always have been a sander. So if you sand for your whole life, how many hours you got? Let's figure it out. I would say that I have sanded at least 40 hours a week since I've been building. So let's figure what that is. Okay. All right. We got more scam callers. Okay. So it's 365. 365 times 8. Now we'll say 365 times 4. We'll just cut it in half. 4 equals times, we'll say 4 hours a day, and I'll take 20. We'll see what it comes out, times it's 89,000 hours sanding. We'll just divide that in half. So that's 2 hours a day sanding. Divide by 2. That's 44,000 hours sanding. So you don't really think about it until you start doing the math. And if I only did it an hour a day, divide that by 2, that'd be 22,000 hours sanding. That's a lot of sanding. I wish I got paid for it, but unfortunately, no. And that's why it's hard for me to teach sanding, because it's practice. But all I can do is give you the tips. So anyway, we got this. Feels pretty good. It feels smooth like glass. Now that flap over there, I'm going to have to aqua green some things and touch it up because it's not perfect. I got too much grain showing in that flap. Well, let's spin this up and see what it comes up to if it looks like glass. Now this is not my normal rubbing compound. I normally don't use turtle wax rubbing compound. I use 3M's Finesse It, but I don't have any, and I'm not going to spend the $60 a pint or whatever hell it is right now. I don't have it. So we'll just use our second best. This is an orange buffing pad. This is the coarsest of the buffing pads. You want to bring this up in stages too. So you're using a 7500 grit rubbing compound with the coarse buffing pad. Making a mess. And you want to use enough speed to heat the dope, because dope is plastic. It's if you took 35 millimeter film and put it in an ashtray and filled the ashtray full of acetone, you'd get dope, and that's plastic. That's why when I was asked a question, I can't remember what it was the other day or whatever, it's about light silk fan, Japanese tissue, so on and so forth. The paper is just the vehicle to hold the dope. The strength in this covering comes from the dope, not from the paper. Unless it's polyspan, then it's like iron. Keep the pad moving. You don't want to burn the paint. It will burn. And then you're crying. It didn't quite come up yet, but it will. No. No, rubbing compound is the final step. You don't want that shit between the clear coats. Okay, now this looks okay, but it really didn't pop. It hasn't really come up, is what I call it. It'll take another go around of rubbing compound. But you got to remember back. Do you remember what it looked like when I started? You can see the overhead lights in it now. Before you couldn't. And the more you polish this, the clearer the light will be in the reflection. And what you're looking for is a 36-inch finish. Very hard to get. We probably won't get it on this, but we'll get a foot or two anyway. This is what they mean by the depth of a finish. So you take a ruler like this and you stick it up on the part. We don't even have a 2-inch finish yet. And you lean it over until you can read the ruler. What number can you read on the ruler? And that's how deep the finish is. Yeah, we got some more polishing to do. Does that make sense? I mean, pretty stupid, but that's how they used to do the cars, you know, the candy apple cars, hand rubbed lacquer. What's the depth of a finish? You say, well, 18 inches. Okay, great. Black is the easiest to get the depth, but it's the hardest because the woodwork, the finish, everything has to be absolutely perfect or it will stick out like a sore thumb. White is the easiest, but it's also the less glamorous of the colors. It's just kind of blah, you know. Unless you got a pearl white car or motorcycle or airplane, but that pearl really makes it jump. Now, I was going to go ahead and try to do pearl on this. I decided against it and forget it. Just left it as an airplane we're going to fly. Will it win the concourse? I doubt it. Will it be nice? Oh, yeah. It should be an 18 or a 19-point airplane, depending on the judges. And that's really all you can expect here. Let's add some more compound. Oh, shit. Flap is getting slick and just slid right off. Now I'm doing this before I go fly it. But after I'm done flying it, if it flies really good, this whole process will be done 2 or 3 more times before the Nats. The whole airplane. I'll spend as many hours doing it again as I spent the first time. This time is just good enough to bring it out in public. You know, some guys wait 3 months before they start rubbing. Well, buddy, I got a 3-month jump on you because it's going to take some time to get it rubbed out. That looks pretty good. I can see my face from, I don't know, 8 inches away, so that'll be good enough for the first go around on that flap. But on that flap, we're gonna attack this. This one here is about ready to be glued on. That one over there is going to be taken off because I'm going to refinish some of it. Take some aqua green on a razor blade, A. Nelson on a razor blade, and smooth it into the into these cracks. I'll show you. I don't know what happened here. Let's see if we can see it in the camera. Yeah, if you look right, you see these lines in here? That is no good. This one hasn't been rubbed at all, but before I go any farther, this is the one that I remade, so I must have just, because I was in a rush to remake it, not finish it as well. So now, because I didn't finish it as well, I have to sand and redo this part right here, get rid of this grain. I'll just redo the whole flap. We got several months before I got to have it, so might as well redo the whole thing right. Just sand it. Get all this grain sanded out. Now let's see here. We've been on 32 minutes. If you look at this, I don't know if you can. If you look right here, see how it's not flat. Oh, maybe because of the light. There we go. If you look right in here, you can see that it's not flat. It's kind of dull. Well, it's got to be sanded and polished. Same with this elevator here. Just not flat. So this is what I'm doing. I'll work on this for a while, hang it back up on the wall. And then we're going to work on the vector tonight at 7. This all needs, yeah, it's just a lot of work. Just pick a spot and do it until it's perfect, and then move on to the next. Yeah, that's coming up. That's coming up. I can read the thing in there. So Now, different guys have different methods for doing this. Whatever works for you is great. This is my method. And it's worked for me for over 60 years, so whatever. Yeah, we still got some goop up here. Yeah, my hand gets tired. And to think, when I was younger, I used to do this all by hand. I didn't have a buffer. You know, this yellow that I've used here, this is the first time I've used Randolph lemon yellow. I can remember John painting his airplane yellow, and it took like a quart to paint his airplane yellow because it was just, there was no pigment in it. This yellow is as good as the orange. It will cover just as good as orange. Of course, if you want it bright, you got to paint over white. You wouldn't be able to paint this yellow over black, but it does work pretty good. Let's see. We're looking at this V right here, and I see, what is this right here? What is that? That is the rib. Looks all right. Well, there we go. If you go back to the beginning of this video and look at the difference of the way the flap looks. You can tell it come up pretty good. She come up pretty good. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little clearer here than it is here. If you look, I got my hand about 3 foot above. We're holding up 2 fingers. You can see the 2 fingers in there. We'll just keep holding it up, 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 up. Make sure we can see it here. Up, 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 up. I can still see it. 3. There's 3 fingers. I kind of lose it in the light there. There we go. 3 fingers up, up, up. We're 4 foot above the airplane. I can still see it. And then that back down. It's hard to catch the light exactly right. So that's a pretty good finish, and not as good as it's going to be, but it's not bad. And I still got to do the bottom. And the fuselage back here. And just because you're done painting doesn't mean you're done painting. You're done spraying, but you're not done with the finish. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. That'll be okay. We got to get them glued on. All right, well, that's it for this for now. I'll be back at 7 with the vector build. Please stay tuned. If there's anything that you need to see, let me know. What can I say? This is what I'm doing. And I'll get it finished as soon as I can. Alrighty, see you tonight. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.